morning, students. In the last class we discussed about by means of using generic constant how we can able to use this single program for multiple applications. Okay, so this is what we discussed. So here I mentioned that particular generic constant. So within the entity declaration part, that too before the code declaration. Okay, so after mentioning that particular one, the same constant we considered while you are generating that particular generate using of for loop. Okay, so by means of placing a value over here for that particular one bit, let it be if I am considering, so width is 8, then this program will act as a 8-bit inverter. If I consider width is 16, then this particular program will act as 16-bit inverter in the same way up to and so on. Okay, so next to that, in this particular program, so I didn't mention anywhere how to assign value for that particular width. Okay, simply we mentioned constant. Using of that particular constants, we developed a program with a small number of statements instead of writing each and every module. Okay, but here we didn't discuss how to assign value for that particular generic constant. Okay, so that is what we are going to discuss by means of dealing another example. Okay, so in general, by means of using generic map clause. Okay, so how we are going to assign value for that particular generic constant is within the architecture body while you are using the concurrent component statement. Okay, so within that, in addition to port map, we are also need to map the generic. Okay, by means of using that particular generic map clause. Okay, so that I am going to explain within this particular program. So considering an example, so here what is my intention is I would like to generate a module. Okay, so that one seems to be like this. Okay, where it consists of 8-bit inverter and 16-bit inverter and 32-bit inverter. So these are all the inputs, and here I mentioned the outputs. Okay, so inputs and outputs. Inputs and outputs. So my intention is, so unlike previous one, using of previous program, what we can able to do, you can able to generate any bus width of inverter, either 8-bit inverter, 16-bit inverter and 32-bit inverter, whatever the size may be. Okay, so but here my intention is I would like to generate 3 modules at a time. Okay, that is, so this is the main module that I consider. So within that I am supposed to realize 8-bit inverter, okay, and 16-bit inverter and 32-bit inverter. All these 3 modules so must be assembled in another module. So that is what my intention. So because of that, how many inputs it consists of? So for this particular 8-bit inverter, where it requires 8 inputs, 8 outputs. For this particular 16-bit inverter, 16 inputs, 16 outputs. For this particular 32-bit inverter, 32 inputs, 32 outputs. So based on that, it consists of all these inputs. So 8 plus 16 plus 32. Okay, that many inputs it consists of. At the same time, outputs also. Okay, that many outputs it consists of. So this is the module I am supposed to realize. Okay, where a module consists of 8-bit, 16-bit and 32-bit inverter. So combinedly, I am going to place within a single module, and that I am going to realize. But as we discussed in the previous case, at a time we can able to generate only either 8-bit or 16-bit and 32-bit. But by means of mentioning generic constants, we can also able to generate a program for this particular module as well, using of that particular generic constants. That's what we are going to discuss in this particular program. So that is the overall module you are supposed to realize. Okay. So for that, we need to develop a program. Okay, using of generic constant, that too in structural description style. Okay, coming to that, first 2 statements are common. Library IEEE, and second one is use IEEE dot STDinschool-1164.all. These 2 statements are common. So after that, next our intention is to write the entity declaration part. Okay, so while coming for that, okay, anyway, other than whatever is there any other project is required means, then we can able to include those work library within over here, but here I didn't consider that particular one. Okay, so coming to that, so first we are supposed to start with the entity declaration. Okay, so entity that starts with the keyword entity name, bus inverter example. So for previous program we mentioned name for that one as bus inverter, BUSINV. That is the name we mentioned for the previous program. Okay, so here I am defining using of that how you can able to generate so like this particular module. This is what one example I am considering. In that regard, bus inverter underscore example. So that is the entity name that I mentioned. Then is a keyword. Then code declaration. So within code declaration, what we are supposed to mention? So what are all the inputs and outputs it consists of? Because of these three modules internally, this particular main module consists of, and this main module name itself, as I mentioned over here, bus inverter underscore example. So that is the module name, entity name. Okay. So within that, so where it consists of first 8-bit inverter. That means 8 inputs, 8 outputs for that. So because of that, so IN8 input 8 to okay. So that too IN8 itself I mentioned to know the difference between IN16 and IN32. With respect to size itself we mentioned. Anyway, here we are going to consider the array. Okay, so because of that in std underscore logic underscore vector, if you considering an array means, then obviously we are supposed to mention the type of the signal is std underscore logic underscore vector, and after that we are supposed to define the size for that particular array. How many array elements it consists of. So here in this particular case, this 8-bit inverter consists of 8 inputs, 8 outputs. Because of that, in8 is going to represent inputs for the 8-bit inverter. In that regard, 7 down to 0. And as I mentioned previously, so whenever you represented arrays, so how we can able to start reading means from left to right. Because of that, IN8 of 7, that is the first array element. IN8 of 6 and so on up to IN8 of 0. So in that particular order, we are supposed to read. Okay. Then after that, output of that particular 8-bit inverter we are supposed to mention. So out std underscore logic underscore vector. So once again, output also 8-bit, 7 down to 0. Then, so this one is completed. Next we are supposed to write for 16-bit inverter. So for that, here I indicated with input name as IN16, output name as out16 for that. Okay. Coming to that, IN16, the only difference between IN8 and IN16 is the variation in the size of the array, which is here 16 bits inputs and 16 bit outputs. So 15 down to 0 for input as well as for out 16 also 15 down to 0. And next to that, next we consider the 32-bit inverter. So while coming for that, where it consists of 32 inputs, 32 outputs. So all those we have to declare. So IN32, it consists of 31 down to 0, out 32, it also consists of 31 down to 0. Because of all these are all arrays, so here the type we consider it as std underscore logic underscore vector. If it is a single bit means std underscore logic. If the given signal is a multi-bit, that means array. Okay. So then we are supposed to mention with std underscore logic underscore vector. Okay. So this is what the entity declaration part. So all the code declarations are covered. Because of that, I am supposed to end that particular entity by means of and entity name, where entity name is bus inverter underscore example. Okay, so this is how the entity declaration part represent for that particular one. So next, after completion of entity declaration part, we are supposed to start the architecture definition. Okay, so while coming for that, so starts with the keyword architecture. Architecture name bus inverter underscore example underscore arc. Okay, then after that of, then entity name, whatever name mentioned over there, so same name we can able to mention. But while we are mentioning architecture as per our wish. So if I mention example, that means it seems to be lengthy. Because of that, in a shortcut he mentioned EX. Okay, but anyway, architecture name as per our wish, anything you can able to give. Okay, so but it belongs to entity name means it seems to be easy for us to came to know this architecture belongs to that particular entity. Okay, so because of that, bus inverter underscore X underscore arc is the architecture name, and while coming for entity name, you must represent same name whatever we defined in the entity declaration. So because of that, bus invert underscore okay example, same name we mentioned over here. you should not use shortcuts over there like this. EX you should not represent. As it is, whatever name we mentioned over there, same entity name must be mentioned over there. Okay. So then is a keyword. Then after that, so we have signal declarations. Okay. Component declarations, constant declaration, function definition, procedure definition. So if you look at that particular one, so there is no internal signals. So directly whatever these 8 inputs directly applying and we are getting the output. These 16 inputs directly we are applying and those we are going to get at the output side. These 32 directly we are applying, those 32 at the output side we are going to get. So there is no internal signals. It consists of like prime number detector, because in this particular one only one component. Okay, 8 inverters, then 16 inverters, then 32 inverters. Other than that, no other module is there. So whatever signals it consists of, those are all directly interfacing with the external inputs and external outputs. So because of that, no need to mention any signal declarations. Okay, if there are any internal signals are going to present which are not covered in entity declaration, if that is the case, then in such cases we must define the signal declarations. Okay. And coming to the next one, so after that component, constant and component declarations we have. Okay, so anyway that component declaration, okay, so here we are supposed to mention constant declaration we already made in the generic by means of using the generic constant within that particular, okay, entity declaration part of bus inverter. Okay, so because of that here we are supposed to, okay, write the program so only for the component declaration. Okay, because of bus inverter, whatever program we written previously, so that one only we are going to use in this particular one to generate all these different type of inverters. So because of that we are supposed to so write the component declaration. That to what component we are supposed to call previous program, which is bus inverter. So because of that component declaration starts with the keyword component, then bus inverter, then after that, so while we are writing entity declaration part over there, we mentioned generic as well. So because of that, whatever we mentioned over there, okay, in addition to port declaration, if you mention generic constants, those also must be considered while we are defining the component declaration. So because of that, if you look at the entity part of that particular one, so where we mentioned before port declaration that generic constants we considered. So while we are mentioning this particular component declaration, you must consider it. That means whatever you mentioned in the entity declaration part, all those must be considered. Until now we didn't consider any generic constants, only port declaration only, because of that port declaration only it consists of. But in this particular case we mentioned the generic constants, that too those must be defined before the port declaration part. So that's what it consists of, entity declaration of bus underscore bus inverter. So while we are mentioning that particular component declaration of that particular entity, as it is whatever is going to present in that particular entity, all must be considered. So because of that, so here we are supposed to get that particular generic statement as well. Okay, so generic with positive. This is what so we defined over in that particular entity. After that port, so width -1 down to 0 and so on. Then finally we are supposed to end that particular component with end component. Okay, then after that, so we are supposed to start the architecture body. So whatever is required, so for these particular concurrent statements, all those must be defined within entity declaration part, and what are all not covered in that, so I must define before starting of the architecture body. So by means of declaring this particular okay component, okay, so we can able to get whatever functionality is required in that particular concurrent statements. Okay then. So next, architecture body starts with the keyword begin. So here what is my intention? Within this particular bus inverter example, so I must realize all these three: 8-bit inverter, 16-bit inverter and 32-bit inverter. So for that, so which one we are supposed to call? Okay, bus inverter, that program itself. Okay, by means of calling that particular one and by means of keep on varying the constant value, where constant is width itself. Okay. So coming to this particular one, so first, so I am writing program for the first one. My intention is first I am supposed to realize the 8-bit inverter. So that one labeled it as U1 colon component name. So bus inverter, this is what. So after that actually we wrote port map and then signals. Okay, but while coming for this, by means of mentioning the generic constant within the architecture body only, we are going to assign value for that particular constant. That too by means of using the generic map clause. By means of using the generic map clause, okay, we are going to assign value for those generic constants. That too within the architecture body, that means within the concurrent statement. In this particular case, that concurrent statement is a component statement. So where we are supposed to place that particular generic map clause means in between component name and port map. In between we are supposed to insert it. Okay. So because of that, here I am assigning value for that particular width by means of using the generic map clause. Okay. So generic map, then here I will assign a value. So width equals to greater than 8. By means of that, it gets a value of that particular width assigned a value of 8. And port map. So with that 8 input and 8 output signal, okay, 8 input signals. So where it can able to assign to, so porting. That is means we are mapping with the original signals with this particular one. Because of here both inputs and outputs we mentioned with respect to width. So because of width we assigned a value of 8. Both input and output, so they got a 8 bit from 8 down to 0. Okay, so that means 8 minus 1, 7 down to 0. So because of that 8 bits it consists of, then those signals are going to map with this particular original signals. Okay, in 8 to out 8. So this is how to perform the 8-bit inverter operation. Then within that 2 more modules are there. Because of those two we are supposed to achieve by means of placing 2 more concurrent statements. Those are all component statements. Okay. So anyway, next one is I considered label name as U2 bus inverter, and next generic map. Once again I am supposed to assign that particular generic constant value as 16. So because of that we can able to achieve by means of generic map. So generic map is a keyword. So generic map, now I am assigning width assign a value of 16. Width equals to greater than 16. So now in this particular case, this width will be assigned a value of 16. So because of that, x of 16 and y of 16, that is the array size it consists of. Okay, that means 15 down to 0 for both x and y. And next we are supposed to map with the external signals. That is what port map. So that is what IN 16 is the input and out 16. IN 16 and out 16. So next to that, we are supposed to realize the 32-bit inverter. While coming for that, labeled U3 bus inverter. So generic map, which is a keyword. By means of that, now I am assigning value for constant is 32. Okay. Then after that, so port map. Okay, mapping that particular one to, so in 32 to out 32. Okay. So that is how we can able to realize. So unlike previous one, single program we can able to use for either 8-bit, 16-bit and 32-bit. But by means of considering this, we can also say that multiple modules using of same program, single program. So here I generated this particular module. That means within the module it consists of 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit and so whatever is necessary. So more than this, up to n number of modules you can able to construct within a given module. Okay. So this is what the advantage. So if you write separately means without using generic constant, what we are supposed to do? So these 8 inverters we are supposed to instantiate. After that these 16, after that these 32. So total that many statements it consists of. 56 statements it consists of, considering all those individually if we are writing, but by means of using this particular generic constant, so in a simple way we can able to write all that particular program. So simply by means of, instead of 54 concurrent statements, using of 3 concurrent statements we can able to achieve the same functionality. So that is the advantage of using the generic constant, and here, okay, because of that we considered that particular one, and that for that particular constant we can able to assign value by means of considering the generic map clause. Okay, so this is what regarding that particular arbitrary width bus inverter. Okay, so if you want to realize such type of modules, so that you can able to realize by means of using the generic constant with less number of statements. Okay, anyway, so with that structural description style is over. From the next class onwards I will start the data flow description. Okay. Anyway, thank you.